Hi, welcome everyone. My name is Simon. I'm a former ICT and computing teacher. I'm an author, blogger, and also a Microsoft certified trainer. Um, and I've been asked today to explore with you how we can enhance productivity with AI. So, Microsoft's responsibility is to help extend access to AI skills to everyone so that it can put AI to work. The opportunity of AI is only meaningful and impactful to the world if everyone has access to skills and opportunities. The Microsoft's mission is to expand the opportunities to people around the world by empowering them to build digital and AI skills. So, with 14.1 million learners already impacted by AI skills, Microsoft knows that learning can be positively transform people's lives and career opportunities. Microsoft surpassed their goal to train and certify 10 million people from undeserved communities with skills for in demand jobs in the AI enabled economy by 2025. Through Microsoft Skills for Jobs program 2021 to 24, Microsoft reached 14.1 million people with digital skills for the AI economy. So now we're expanding AI skills to even more people. So Microsoft's goal is to reach millions more learners around the world. Um, they've now have this new ambitious goal to extend AI skills to even more people. So Microsoft's goal is now 25 million more learners around the world. Microsoft are working with across sectors and directly supporting all learners. And programs include working with industry leaders to build more competitive workforce, partnering with schools and universities to unlock the power of AI in education, working with non-profits and non-governmental organisations across civil society to make sure no one is left behind, partnering with government institutions to bring AI learning opportunity to their agencies and their citizens. So today's work environment is overshadowed by digital debt, hindering innovation. A staggering 68% of workers are caught in a communication trap, lacking the focus time needed for productivity. In today's digital age, work hours and meeting times are on the rise, making it tough to stay focused, with an average of 7.5 hours a week spent in meetings. So, asked to imagine what the world of work in 2030 might be, people surveyed said that saving time, producing high quality work in half the time was a priority. Being able to learn new skills twice as fast, being able to work smarter, be able to understand the most valuable ways they can spend their time, and best ways to use their energy, um, banishing busy work, so outsourcing all their busy work and having all their meetings and action items summarized, um, and unleashing their creativity. So never having to write a first draft of a document in Word or PowerPoint or email again, and never having to experience creative or writer's block. So in this session, we're going to explore how you can use Microsoft Copilot to help you with your productivity goals. This is going to be one of three sessions. So later in the series, we'll also look at collaboration and ideation using tools like Loop and Whiteboard. We'll also look at how you can use Microsoft Copilot in Word and PowerPoint, Excel. But in this session, we're going to explore how you can use AI and Microsoft Copilot to help with productivity, in particular when using apps like your calendar in Outlook, emails, and also Microsoft Teams. But before we go on to that, I want to briefly mention what is Copilot. So Copilot is essentially your digital assistant. So unlike a search engine where you would type in and ask a query, what is the weather next week, um, or why is the sky blue? In a search engine, it would try and find the best results based on keywords in your search. Copilot is like a digital assistant that will go out and find the best answers and then provide the best answers for you without you having to search for those yourself. Um, it doesn't think or feel. It doesn't know how you think, which is why it's really important to give as much information as possible. The more information you give it, the more examples, uh, the more clarity you give it, the better the response is. The other thing to be aware of is security. I saw a post on LinkedIn recently where someone shared there's 109 favorite AI applications, which is cool. Um, but it started me thinking, how many of those applications of AI tools um, are secure and protect your data? One of the major benefits of using Microsoft Copilot is the fact that Copilot doesn't share your data with anyone else, and it doesn't use it to train large language models or train the AI. And it only shows you the data that you have access to as well. So where can you find Copilot? So you'll find it in Microsoft 365 Chat. You'll find it in Teams on the web and desktop, also on iOS and Android too. You'll find it in PowerPoint on both web and desktop. Not confirmed yet for iOS and Android. You'll find it in Word, OneNote, Excel. And I said in the next session, we're looking at Word and PowerPoint and Excel in more detail. You'll also find it in OneNote, Whiteboard, and also in Loop Online. So some tips for using Copilot. There are, well, essentially there's 5 key ways you can use Copilot to ask it. Although we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 here. The main ones are create, summarize, edit, analyze, and catch up, but we've also got learn and transform. So for learn, you can, if you want Copilot to teach you about something, for example, what is Project Falcon and who are the stakeholders working on it? Why is the sky blue? So on and so forth. You can use it to create new content. So you can create a catchy slogan for your website or for social media, or create a presentation, a report, or a policy document. You can use it to summarize large documents and take out the key points and summarize them as bullet points. And we'll be looking at that in this session. You can use it to transform. So if you want to change the format or tone of a document, it can do that for you, or convert a Word document into a presentation. You can use it to edit existing documents, change the readability, and change the grammar, punctuation. You can use it to analyze documents. So you might want to use Copilot to extract or provide some information or insights from a set of data. We're looking at in the next series when we look at Microsoft Excel, and you can use it to catch up. So you can catch up on meetings that you missed, or also catch up and organize your diary. And we're looking at in today's session. We'll also be looking at some of these features, and I'll demonstrate these when we're looking at using Microsoft Copilot. So I said at the start, it's really important to communicate clearly. Use correct punctuation, capitalization, grammar will give you better output. Use quotes, so using quotation marks to indicate the exact content you want Copilot to rewrite, modify, or replace. Sequence can matter, so the order in which you present information in your prompt may impact the output. So try resequencing, try changing the order of that information to see if you get better output. And use direct linking, called context IQ, and we'll talk about it a little bit later. But essentially, you can include other documents in your searches, in your queries, in your prompts, but you can also include people as well. And we'll demonstrate that a little shortly. So before we look at Microsoft Teams, some best practices, always check your facts. Make sure that what the AI is generated is correct and safe and suitable for your audience. keep revising. I often find that sometimes AI will produce a fantastic result, a fantastic answer that doesn't need changing. Sometimes it will produce rubbish, and I'll be honest, but that depends on your prompts. Most of the time, it gives you a nice starting point for you to work on. And your results will only get better the better you get at prompting. So always refine, practice, and improve on prompts. Another top tip is once you've found a prompt that you really like, save it and keep it and use it for later. And finally, it's called Copilot, not Autopilot. Remember that you are always still in control. And as I said, always check your facts and check the answer before you use that with your clients or with your intended purpose. So I want to start by looking at Microsoft Teams and what you can do in Microsoft Teams. So in Copilot, in Microsoft Teams, one of the things you can do is you can use it to recap a meeting. So imagine you're in a situation, you're late for a meeting, perhaps you're stuck in traffic because you're late dropping off the kids to school, or you're in a meeting that's supposed to have only lasted 30 minutes and it's gone over to an hour and you've missed the next meeting. Not a problem with Copilot. So I'm going to open up Microsoft Copilot in Teams. Now, you'll notice on the left-hand side here, we have got the Copilot button. If you haven't got that, not a problem. As long as you have Microsoft 365 license, you can add it by clicking on plus to add apps and then search for Copilot. And there it is. You can add that. And then once it's added, so you don't lose it again, you can right click and you can pin. Also, top tip as well is you can reorganize this so you can drag that right to the top if you wish, if Copilot is the most important thing in your day, which it is for me. So I'll show that one more time. Click on Add Apps, search for Copilot, click on Add, and then right click to pin it to your toolbar. So what can you do? So remember that scenario where you're late for the meeting. So imagine I'm late for an important meeting. So if I go to my meeting, so I'm late for my economics meeting. The first thing I can do is jump in, and no one's noticed I've jumped into the meeting. They're carrying on talking. So I can just type in here in Copilot, and you can access Copilot by clicking the Copilot button up here. I can say recap the main points from this meeting. So here are the key points. So this is a meeting about an improvement plan. So I'm all caught up. Now, because I'm late and I've rushed and I'm really apologetic, I want to make myself look really professional. So I'm going to now ask Copilot to suggest some really good questions I can ask in the meeting. So I'm going to ask Copilot, what are some good questions I can ask the presenter? And let's see what it says. So it'll read the summary so far. It knows what has been said so far in the meeting, and it'll now come up with some questions that I can ask to make it look like I've been there and listening all through the meeting. So I've got a couple of questions there. And I can pick one of those, I can paste them in the chat, or I can raise my hand and ask that question live. You can also use it after a meeting. So imagine you're really late and you completely missed the meeting. Not a problem. You can recap that meeting too. So if I go to another meeting that I missed earlier, I click on the Copilot button. First thing I can do is ask it to summarize the key points from this meeting. As you can see, I miss a lot of meetings. Not my fault. So here we go. So we've got overview of the key points so far that's mentioned in the meeting. Now remember before I asked it to come up with some interesting questions that I can ask during the meeting. Well, this is finished now, so but what I could do is I could ask it what questions were asked during that meeting. So I'll do that. So what questions were asked during this meeting? Essentially, it's going to the transcript. So Grace asked, what is the price elasticity of our brand? And also, can you tell me what is monoxide? I don't know what that was, but those are the questions asked. I could then suggest some follow-up questions that I could post in the chat based on that. Or imagine I missed the meeting, but I know that there's going to be some jobs outstanding for me to complete. Rather than having to watch the whole recording, so there's some questions, I can ask it to list all the action items. Now, you'll also notice that based on the meeting, Copilot will already suggest some questions you might ask. So, for example, we've got recap the meeting, and another popular prompt is list the action items. So these are the actions outstanding from the end of the meeting. And there we go. Now, don't worry if you can't remember all these prompts, because many of these prompts are already embedded inside Microsoft Copilot. So you'll notice at the bottom of my screen, we've got a button that says more prompts. If I click on that, it will give me a list of other prompts I can, or most commonly used prompts asked in Teams meetings. So we've got recap the meeting, we've got list action items, suggest follow-up questions. We've also got what questions are unresolved, list different perspectives. I'm going to choose generate meeting notes based on this chat, and it will do that. So what else can you do? So as well as being able to recap meetings that you've turned up late to, generate meeting notes for meetings you've missed, generate questions, you can also use Copilot in the chat. So I'm going to go to an existing chat. So between myself, Beth and Cynthia. So here you can see there's a conversation going on here. Cynthia's provided some really effective feedback. Beth has replied with some detailed feedback as well. Now, I could just type in, this is great, thanks. But that's not really helpful, especially after Beth had wrote a very detailed response. So what I can do is I can move my cursor over to here, which is the Copilot Assistant, and I can click on this, and I can click on rewrite. So it's now changed it. This is wonderful. Still not enough information. Not a great response to that wonderful amount of information that Beth gave me. So I can also click on adjust. So I can make it more concise. So if I've got a really long answer, I can make it shorter. If I've got a really short answer and I want to make that much longer, I can click on longer. It will do that. I can make it even longer. Will it go even longer than that? Okay, so that's more like it. I really appreciate your efforts on this. It's fantastic work. Thank you for your dedication and for delivering such quality results. I'm happy with that. I can also adjust the tone. So I click on adjust, so I can make it more casual, more professional. Let's make it more enthusiastic because Beth did write a really nice answer. And then adjust that to make it longer again. This is fantastic. I really appreciate your help. Thank you for your efforts and for providing such valuable input. I really like that. Now, you notice here, we've got previous responses. So let's say you've adjusted it and you don't like that answer, you can always go back to previous one, like so, and then pick the one that you want. So you haven't lost it if you adjust it. So I'm going to click on replace. I'm happy with that. And then I click on send. I'll show that one more time. So I can click on the pen here, click on rewrite to rewrite the message, use adjust to make it shorter or longer, and I can even change how it sounds as well. I'm happy with that, so I'm going to send that to Beth, like so. Other things you can do is, as you can see, this is a very, very long chat. So Cynthia's provided 3 goals that I could use to improve. This was about a project plan. Cynthia has also, Cynthia's replied with 2 items. So what I can do is, rather than having to read all of that, I can actually use Copilot to summarize the chat. So I can click on my Copilot button here, and I can ask it a question, and I can say, what are the key takeaways from this chat? Ask it. So this is more concise. So it says the key takeaways are: Cynthia asked for feedback. Beth recommended including real world examples, case studies, and debates. Really, really useful. So that's just some of the ways that you can use Copilot in Teams. So what else can you use it for? You can also use Copilot in Microsoft Outlook. So if I go back to Copilot, I'm going to head over to Outlook and to my emails. So first thing you can do is summarize email. So I'm going to find a very long email. So I think I've got one from Cynthia. Here we go. So as you can see, this is a very, very long, comprehensive email. So rather than having to read all of that, you'll notice at the top of an email, you'll have this button that says Summary by Copilot. If I click on that, it will read through my email and it will give me a summary of those key points. So Cynthia's requested feedback on the economics plan, and she's attached the latest medium-term plan for me to look at. So I can use it to summarize long, large documents. That's great. So I want to reply now. So I can scroll down to the bottom and I can click on reply. Now you notice when I click on reply, you've also got that pencil. so I can draft with Copilot. Now, it usually gives you some quick suggestions. So basically, it'll read through the document, read through the text, it'll understand the context of the email, and it will provide you with some quick solutions to your reply to get you started. So I could do suggestions included, review complete, feedback, or I can use custom. So let's have a look at some of these. Let's do feedback provided. It'll draft me a reply. There we go. So thank you so much for sharing your A-level economics curriculum plan. And so forth. Overall, I believe the plan is well thought out. So that's much better than me just saying thanks for that. I'll look at it later. You can also update it and refine it. So remember at the start, I said never always take the first answer you get from Copilot. You can always refine that, improve it. So it's asked me if there's anything I'd like to change. So if I click on that there, I can make it longer, I can make it shorter, I can make it more said more formal, make it into a poem. I don't think that's appropriate for email to a colleague, but I've never done this, so that's what it looks like. Hi Cynthia, thank you for the curriculum plan. It's impressed, well-rounded and grand. Micro and macro, both covered with care, engaging students here and there. As lovely as that is, it might make Cynthia smile, and I think I'll change that. So I'll go back to edit prompt. Let's make it more formal. That's much better. And I can even make that short as well because that's quite long. So if I go back to how I'd like to change it, let's make it a little bit shorter. And remember, as with any prompt, you don't lose the previous. At the top here, you've got your previous draft, so I can go forwards and backwards, even back to my lovely poem, and find the one that I want. So I'm happy with this last one, and I'm going to click on keep it. So I've drafted reply, and I can click on send that reply. Now, imagine that you want to schedule a meeting based on the email. So you've had this email with a request for information. It might be about marketing plan. It could be about business plan, or it could just be a departmental meeting. You can then take that email and schedule a meeting with all those people involved from that email. So I'm going to take that email now, and up here in the toolbar, you'll see schedule a Copilot. So I'll do that again. So I've got my email, scroll to the toolbar, and you've got the little magic stars. If I click on that, schedule a Copilot, it'll read through my email, and it will set up an agenda based on that email. So it's read through my email, looked at the key points of the email. It's created some agenda points based on the contents of that email. So review the economics plan, discuss feedback, suggest potential improvements, and evaluate opportunities. And there's a summary for the original conversation, so we can read that before the meeting. It automatically added everyone involved at the meeting, and this is the one I love. It's even, if I click on find a time, it will tell you what time all those people in that email chain are available. I'll say it again. If you click on find a time, it will tell you when all the people in that meeting are available. So I can see that next Monday at 4:30, we're all free. So I'll click on that. It'll schedule that. It's created the agenda, created the summary, and then I can send that. Insert that, and then click on send. And I've arranged a meeting based on that email. How good is that? I also want to demonstrate the calendar. So if I go to my calendar, as you can see, I'm not very busy. Mondays is always quiet for me. Tuesday, I'm working on my grant proposal, and I've got a meeting. Thursday, it's my birthday. I'm glad I put that in my diary, otherwise I might have forgotten. You can use Copilot in the calendar to actually organize your week or your month, and to find out what important meetings you're having. So again, you'll find the Copilot icon up here in the top right-hand corner. So if I click on Copilot, the great thing is in all the apps, it's always in the same place. So you'll find it just up here in the top right-hand corner. So I'm going to ask it. So I'm going to say, summarize my diary for this week. And it will do that. I can also ask it to tell me what meetings I have this week. So what meetings do I have this week? So, and this is really useful. So today at 4:30, I have a meeting with Cynthia. Tomorrow, I've got a meeting between 1 and 2 to review the grant proposal. Wednesday, I have a meeting again with Cynthia. And on Friday at 3 o'clock, I have my department meeting. So it says you have a total of 4 meetings scheduled this week. Let me know if you need any more details or assistance with any of these events. And it will give you, as with the other prompts, it will give you suggestions how you might, queries you might ask about these meetings. And again, down here, you've got view prompts. So it'll even give you more. So if I click on catch up, what is the latest on? And I can type in the project. Summarize emails and Teams messages, where I was mentioned, and I'm going to demonstrate this in a moment. You've got ask. So when is my next meeting with such and such person, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to say, let's have a look at my grant proposal meeting tomorrow. So I will ask Copilot to help me. Actually, please always be polite to Copilot. Always say please and thank you. So we're going to say, please, can you help me prepare? Now, I'm not sure if you get a better answer if you say please or thank you, but I think it's just nice. Please, can you help me prepare for my meeting tomorrow at 1 p.m. regarding the grant proposal? I shouldn't need to put in the grant proposal because it should know what meeting I have at 1 p.m. tomorrow, but it's always best to add more detail. The more data you can give Copilot, and the better the response is. I should put a question mark in there, but I'm sure Copilot doesn't mind if I miss a question mark out. So it's looked at the notes in the meeting agenda. It's also looked at any other documents that refer to the grant proposal, and it suggested what I should prepare for that meeting. So it tells me when it is, who's in the meeting, and then it suggests what I might need to do. So put together an executive summary. It also tells me any related emails that might be useful to help me with that meeting, and also some preparation tips as well. So it says review the example grant proposal document thoroughly to understand the objectives. And it says you can access the example grant proposal document, and there is an external link was removed to protect your privacy. Let me know if anything else. And there it is. So there's my So if I look at references, there's my example grant proposal, and that will open in Microsoft Word. It's really, really powerful. So Copilot has just organized everything that I need for my next meeting. The other thing it's really good for is it can create out of hours responses. Now, I'll be honest, despite the fact that I do training on Microsoft products, I always forget how to create an out of office reply. I must have been told about 20 or 30 times how to do it. It's because I never have a holiday, I never have a break. But I always forget how to, and this is genuine, I always forget how to do an out of office reply. So I've just noticed that on Thursday is my birthday. You can say happy birthday. And I want to put an out of office reply so that people know that it's my birthday. So what I can do is I can go into Copilot and I can say, help me set my out of office for my birthday. Did I say it was my birthday? Birthday on Thursday, the 21st of November. And click on send. Keep thinking about it. So here we go. So hi, I can help you with that, but it looks like your automatic replies is already active. That's great. So I can go and set that. So set for 21st to 22nd. This is I'm currently out of the office from the 25th of November to 26th of November. Instead of urgent matters, I'm going to make sure everyone knows it's for my birthday, so people don't forget. Please contact my manager, and then I can save that, or I can go into settings and change the time. So start time would be 9 a.m. End time would be the end of the working day on that day. So 5 o'clock. I can also block my calendar for this period, automatic decline invitations to events during that. Actually might do that and block my calendar. And let's call it birthday. And then I can just click on save. And then now that is added. So if anyone tries to contact me on my birthday, they'll get a nice little message to say, I'm not in the office and it's my birthday. And you can do that through Copilot. So all I typed in was help me set my out of office for my, and it could be a business trip or anything else, and it'll do that for you. And you can see it's even blocked my calendar as well. There you go. So what else can you do? There is a feature in Copilot called coaching. It's called Coaching by Copilot, and it will help you write emails better. It'll give you guidance on how to make them more concise and to give more impact as well. So I'm going to go back into my emails. So go back to Outlook, and let's go back to Cynthia's very long email. Here we go. And if I go down and click on reply to this, you've got draft with Copilot. So I could choose one of the short examples, or I can choose custom. And I can type in a message. Now, when I click on draft with Copilot, you'll notice that the Copilot icon appears up here. I'll do that again so you can see that. So I'm just going to discard this. So it's not there. I click on reply to the email, click on custom, and you'll see this icon. If I click on the drop down, you have a feature called Coaching by Copilot. Now it says to get coaching for better, more well-crafted emails, you need a minimum of 100 words. So I'm going to take an email that I've already written. So you could just start typing your email. As long as you get up to 100 words, you can use the coaching feature. So I'm going to, here's one that I created earlier. like so. And I can click on Coaching with Copilot. Okay. And it says analyzing your email. So it reviews it for tone, clarity, and then what it will do is it will give you suggestions on how to improve your email based on three areas: tone, reader sentiment, and clarity. So if we look at tone, it says this email is respectful and expresses genuine gratitude. Um, Suggestions: consider starting with a warmer greeting, such as "Hi Cynthia, hope you're doing well." Um, it says also end with a more personal touch, like "best regards" instead of "kind regards." Look at sentiment. So it says the email highlights the positive aspects of the curriculum plan and acknowledges the recipient's hard work. Brilliant. But it suggests is that include a sentence inviting further discussion. That's a good idea. So just, I'd love to hear more about your approach. It also says add a note of collaboration, like please let me know if there's anything I can do to assist with this. I love that. And then finally, we'll look at clarity. So it says that my email is thorough and detailed, covering various aspects of the curriculum plan. However, it could be structured more clearly for easier reading. So if I scroll down and have a look through that, it says break the email into shorter paragraphs to make it more readable. Add bullet points or subheadings. Oh, subheadings is a good idea. So like teaching methods, extracurricular opportunities, and then summarize the main points at the end, e.g. Overall, and this is comprehensive, well structured, engaging. And what I can do is, if I'm not happy with that, I can click on regenerate. It'll give me more suggestions, but I'm happy with that, so I can apply those to my responses. So that's my original response. I'm going to apply all the suggestions. So this is the new email. So it says, "Hi Cynthia, hope you're doing well. Thank you very much for sharing the plan. I've truly appreciated the comprehensive approach you've taken to develop the understanding on this topic. And if we're going further, overall, the plan is well thought out and provides a robust framework. Please let me know if there's anything I can do to assist, and I'd love to hear more about your approach." So I'm happy with that. It's added best regards. I can replace that text and then click on send. So I'll just show that again. So when you reply to an email and you choose draft with Copilot, you'll get the Copilot button here. Click on the drop down button and use Coached by Copilot to help you improve your responses. I'm going to send that, and I'm sure she's going to be very happy with that response. So that was coaching with Copilot. And then finally, I want to show you how you can use the Microsoft 365 Copilot tool to access your calendar, your emails, and do so much more. And this is just a gentle introduction, which leads us into the next session when we'll start to look at using PowerPoint, Word, Excel, and OneNote. So I'm going to go back to Copilot, and I go to Copilot, and you can access it by going to copilot.microsoft.com or m365.cloud.microsoft/chat. Also, Microsoft 365, if you click on the Copilot icon, it will bring you to this chat window. So notice at the top, I've got two buttons, Work and Web. By default, Copilot will search the web for its answers, but sometimes you might want it to actually prioritize the documents in your tenant or in your SharePoint or OneDrive to help you with your answers. So I'm going to click on Work and I'm going to prioritize my documents. So the first thing I can do is I can ask it to summarize all my emails for the last 2 weeks. So I click in the chat and type in summarize all, well, that's a good thing, but all my emails for the last 2 weeks. So rather than having to read every single email, it will look at all my emails and provide a summary for each one. So here we go. So 5 emails in total. Obviously not that popular, but it's got a summary for each one. Fantastic. Now, remember I said at the start, there's an art to writing prompts. Now, if you actually go to the LinkedIn Live sessions and look at our previous sessions, in our last session, we looked at prompt engineering and looking at all the different ways you can improve your prompts. And one of my top tips is always to refine, to iterate, to improve your prompts, and then keep save either in a OneNote or a Word document all your best prompts, because that's great summarizing all my emails, but there is a better way. So instead, this time I'm going to say create a table that summarizes my emails from the last 2 weeks. So I'm still asking it to summarize my emails from the last 2 weeks. However, I'm going to say create a table with 3 columns. Remember to spell columns, and it's going to include sent by, so who sent the email, summary of the email, and then finally, and this is the important one, did I respond? So rather than just, and I'll read this again so you can see this, and I've got please be concise as well. So I want it short and to the point. So basically I'm asking it, instead of just summarize all my emails from the last 2 weeks, I want to create a table that summarizes my emails from the last 2 weeks, but create a table with 3 columns, which include sent by, so who sent me the email, a brief summary of what the email is about, and more importantly, have I responded? So let's see that answer instead. So hopefully it's going to create a new table. Here we go. And because I asked it to be concise, so here's a concise summary of your emails. So we've got email sent by Cynthia, request for feedback. Did I respond? Yes, brilliant. She also sent me an email saying she's trying to reach me. I didn't reply. Sorry, Cynthia. I also didn't reply to her about the economics meeting recording, but I did give her feedback on the economics curriculum plan. So at least I did that. So I can tell straight away that I've got 3 emails that I need to respond to. It tells me who they are, Beth and Cynthia, and what the subject is about. The other thing you can do is you can summarize messages or emails that mention you. And I'm going to do that. So if I go back to my Copilot, so this time I'm going to ask it to provide a summary of all the Teams messages where I was mentioned. In the last 2 weeks. Let's see how popular I am. Let's have a look. Once. That's how popular I am. But at least I can see that in the last 2 weeks, Cynthia tried to reach out to me, mentioned me in Teams, wanting my insight and updates on the department plan. So that's really, really useful. Now, it's not just being able to search for people. You can also find out emails and messages that are sent to you by a certain person. And it's called Context IQ. And there's 2 types of this. There's Context IQ contacts, and there's also one that searches files. Let's start with the contacts first. So essentially, I can ask Copilot to tell me what's going on with a project, or find out the latest information from a particular person. So I'm going to go back to Copilot. Now, my top tip is when you want to start something new, start a new topic, always start with a new chat. So I'm going to do that. Still make sure that work is enabled because I'm searching my company. And I'm going to say, what is the latest from? Now, to include a personal file, I can either use the add button to add a person, or I can use the slash command to search. So I'm going to say, what is the latest from Grace? Because she keeps on, actually no, Cynthia, because Cynthia keeps on emailing me. So what is the latest from Cynthia? And I want to organize that by emails, chats, and files. Thank you. Smiley face. I don't know if that does anything, but so it's going to now check through, and it's going to give me a list of all the latest correspondence, emails, messages relating to Cynthia. And there you have it. And it says there's no recent chats. Let's try someone else. So let's try that again. I'm going to copy and paste that now. And this time I'm going to search for someone else in the organization. Let's try Grace. So here we've got emails. So these are all the emails. So on October the 4th, Grace provided feedback. On the 30th September, she gave feedback on the grant proposal. On the 8th September, sent an email to governors. And then in chats on October the 7th, Grace expressed appreciation for the collaborative efforts during the planning meeting. Fantastic. And as always, it will suggest follow-up responses. So I could provide latest updates from the meeting. So summarize the feedback from Grace. So it says that Grace expressed appreciation and provided feedback on October the 4th. So I can say, well, what is that feedback? And it will give me that answer. And again, I can view the prompts from here. And we'll look at that in a moment. We'll finish off with that because it's really nice. It's a feature called Copilot Lab. I'll finish with that one. But before we look at Copilot Labs, you can also, with Context IQ, you can also include files. So for example, if I go back to Copilot, I can ask it to provide a summary. So I'm going to ask it to provide a summary of. Remember, you can either use the add to add files, you can use the paperclip as well to add a file, or you can use the slash command. You can search for all people, files, meetings, and emails. I want to search for, oh, it's there, but I can type it in. So insurance document. So I've just recently received an insurance premium document, which is very long and very technical. So I'm going to ask Copilot to provide a summary of that for me. So I click on send. So it will read through that whole document, that long document, and it'll provide a summary. So here is the insurance quote. So how it's calculated, risk determined, and so forth. And if I look at that original document, just to show the context, so you can see it's quite a substantial document. So I've summarized that really, really easily. And it'll give you follow-up questions as well. So for example, it's read the document and it's given me some suggestions. So I can ask it what are the main factors that affect the insurance premium calculation, which is something that might be really important to your organization. So I can click on that. It will read the document. So it says the main factors that may affect my insurance premium include personal information, age, gender, type of amount of insurance, payment type or payment term, discounts and benefits as well. And I can even ask it, how can I lower my insurance premium, which is a really important question. And it will again search for that document and it'll give me that answer. So with Copilot, using that slash command, that context IQ, you can take large documents and you can summarize them and get the key points and ask questions based on that document. You can also as well create frequently asked questions. I mentioned that in a previous webinar that I have my own blog. And one of the things you can do to improve your search rankings on blogs is to have an FAQ. So a set of frequently asked questions about your topic. Then you can create something called a schema markup language using those FAQs, and then the search engine will use that when people ask that question. So it helps to promote your website. But you can also create FAQs for common asked questions for your business. So you might be running a shop, like a coffee shop. Anyone who's watched my previous webinars will know, like, I like coffee and I might open a coffee shop one day if this job doesn't work out. So it might be set up a set of frequent asked questions that customers might ask outside of business hours. So I've got a document here, so about our company's credit card policy. So I'm going to say create an FAQ for customers from, and I put in the slash command, and I'm going to search for credit card policy. There we go, like so. And I'm going to click on send, and it'll create me a set of frequently asked questions with answers that I can put onto my website or put into a document for service staff that work in my call center that will have the questions that most people might ask about our credit card policy and also the answers to those as well. So all I did was type in create FAQ and then from and then slash command to search my document that I want to create frequently asked questions about. So hopefully that's given you a snapshot of some of the things you can do with Microsoft Copilot inside Microsoft Teams and also Microsoft Outlook. Now, don't worry if you've forgotten all those things or forgotten all those prompts, because I mentioned that there is a feature called Copilot Labs. And essentially, this is like a bank of the most commonly asked questions or prompts that you might want to use in each of the different applications. So if I go back into Microsoft Copilot, if I can find it, there we go, like so. You can find this in different places. But if I move my cursor down to here, you've got Manage Copilot Resources, and up here you've got View Prompts. If I go into the chat, so if I open up Copilot from the chat here using the sidebar, and let's create a new chat. If I click on this here, View Prompts, you'll see a selection of prompts that I can use from a predetermined bank of questions. Now, I can search for these via tasks like catch up. So if I click on catch up, it tells me all the prompts I can use for catching up on email, calendar. So for example, what's the latest from person, or list the key points from file. Scroll down, I've got catch up fast, what's new in my inbox. Check Teams, so summarize Teams messages where I was at mentioned. You can also save these. So up here you've got save prompts. So next to the prompt, you've got this little bookmarking feature. So let's scroll down. I know that I use this a lot. Summarize Teams messages where I was at mentioned. So I can click on that there and it adds it to my save. So if I close that and go back to View Prompts, and then click on Saved Prompts. There we've got Summarise Team Messages where I was at mentioned. I can also search by questions that asked or creation as well. And then also, finally, you've got See All Prompts. If I click on this, it will take me to Copilot Labs, and it'll give me access to a ton of prompts or questions I can ask. So things like recap the meeting, suggest list of product names for a state-of-the-art toaster that is energy efficient. To do this from my client meetings. You can also search by app. So I can say, I just want all the ones for Outlook and for Teams, and it will do that. So here's my Teams and Outlook one. So create a table of options discussed, summarize what was discussed about in this meeting, list 5 ideas, and again, you can save these and add your saved prompts. So as well as searching by application, you can search by task. So here are all those that I mentioned at the start. So catch up, create, understand, edit, code, analyze data in Excel. And you've also got job types as well. So we've got departments. So give me some suggestions that might be helpful for someone that works in human resources. Let's have a look at sales. So in Word, generate a comprehensive list of questions that evaluate customer success. Or draft an email to my customers communicating what to expect from the next meeting. So all those are available in Copilot Labs. And you can also go to copilot.cloud.microsoft to access those as well. So if you found that useful, there are a ton of more resources that you can access for free. So there are resources for users, such as the LinkedIn Generative AI Pathway, Digital Skills Compass. You've got resources to developers. So you've got the LinkedIn Software Development Learning Path and Learn AI Collection for developers. And you've also got resources for organizational leaders, such as the LinkedIn Organizational Leaders Path. Don't worry, you don't have to remember all these. You can access all these from the Digital Skills Resource Hub. So you can go to aka.ms/Digital Skills Hub. Hopefully that'll be in the chat as well. So aka.ms/Digital Skills Hub. That'll give you access to everything that's in on this slide. And then finally, we've also got the AI Skills Navigator. And I'll show this to you because it's really, really useful. But you can go to aka.ms/AI Skills Navigator. And if I just launch that for you so you can see what it looks like. So you've got access to lots of resources, lots of Learn programs. If you've not used Learn before, it's really, really useful. A lot of the qualifications and certificates and badges that I showed at the start on my intro slide, I earned by completing Learn courses, including my AI 900 AI fundamentals. But here you can scroll down and look at some of the courses that are available. You can also, I love this feature because it is AI, I can find a skills path and I can choose what path I want to follow. So I can either ask a question or I can choose one of these. So today's session is about productivity. So I want to use AI to produce my productivity. Set your experience. I would say I was intermediate. And I'd like to understand how I can be ethical, or I'd like to learn the best use of Microsoft tools. So click on that and generate a response, and then generate some links to courses that I can join to learn about that. You can also ask a question. So I can start typing here. It gives you suggestions. So last session, we looked at prompt engineering. So how can I get better at writing prompts? So I can put that, how can I improve my prompt writing? And the AI chat will generate some responses. So there we go. Choose an option. And again, it'll generate some courses, like so. So there's a LinkedIn course here for organisation leaders, like so. Or if you like the old-fashioned way, like me, you can just scroll down and you can click on and find a course by role or by skills and join it that way. So hopefully that has given you just a small snapshot of what you can do with Microsoft Copilot. As I said, in the next session, we're going to explore some of the productivity tools, PowerPoint, Word, Excel, and OneNote. And then in the last session, we'll look at collaboration and ideation using Whiteboard and Loop. Which leads me to ask, are there any questions? Feel free to post any questions in the chat. We'll find a link to the Digital Skills Hub in the chat. But if there are no questions, don't worry. You can always reach out later. You can reach out to the team via LinkedIn to the link that you use to access this stream. So if that's no more questions, I hope you enjoyed that session. I hope you found that useful. And please join us again for our next session, where we'll be looking at how you can use Microsoft Copilot in Word, PowerPoint, and Excel. So that's all from me, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.